I might turn the lamps on and just preach from over in that section. Eric, over Eric's head in his fresh hair.
You can let them know somebody died today.
Hey, come clear your name. Did you tell Austin Sweatpants? Missy, who did it? Tell me who did it. It was her. We don't talk to her about it. Hey, lady. Hey, lady. Hey, lady. Was it you? No, was it you? Was it you? What, no, wait. Was it you though? Did you do it? Who did it? Was it you? Who tore up those sweatpants? Who tore up those sweatpants? Who tore them up? Who tore up those sweatpants? Who tore them up? Was it you? Oh man, was it you? Who tore up my baby? Oh, it's okay. It's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's okay, it's alright, it's alright. But did you tear them up? Was it you? Was it you? No, Dad, I'm sorry, Dad, okay. You trying to apologize? You trying to apologize? Please, oh no, oh, for the love. Okay, all right, I forgive you. It's okay, I forgive you. I forgive you. I forgive you. It's okay, it's all right, it's all right. So it was you though. It was you? It was you? Was it you? Oh, it was you. It's okay. It's all right. Daddy still love you. You kiss him.
Oh my goodness. On? Yeah. Wow. I feel bad for the dog. He's like, it's okay. It's okay. Was it you? It's okay. It's okay. Was it you? Yeah. The dog had some shame. The dog had some guilt. So we're actually going to talk about her a little bit tonight. How's everybody doing tonight? Woo! Good. I'm trying to figure out like why this whole section here is empty. And then everybody's right over here in the same one spot. But I understand, it's used to those cheer cushions. So all that means is I'm preaching here. Yes, Layla's over there by herself.
Hi, Layla.
What's wrong with this picture? Invite Layla over.
Layla's like, no thanks.
No, that's good.
I'm good. Oh, she's moving.
Like everybody's peer pressure. Stephanie's a good leader. She won't fight. Yeah, it's different. Everybody's going to get used to the difference between middle school and high school. So glad you're here. So glad you could join us. Yes, there are some faces that aren't here tonight. We're transitioning and getting everybody healthy again. So we understand that folks are still on quarantine. They're missed. Let's give a shout out to our YouTube audience who is live with us right now. So hopefully some of those folks who aren't here tonight are joining us live on YouTube. If you're watching live on YouTube, would you drop us a comment? You are watching from. We do have the lovely Steve Smith is monitoring that computer currently.
I'm asking if there's anybody from Antarctica.
Yeah, anybody from Antarctica watching? Would you let us? Or was it Wigwam, Manitoba, or whatever? Canada, or wherever, we'll take it. Wherever you are, we're watching, we're excited. If you're a CapCity student, middle school, high school, we're excited that you would join us. I do have a couple announcements that I want to go over before we continue with the service. First is growth groups. Wednesday nights. If you weren't aware, we actually do stuff here during the week at church, not just on Sundays. So if you'd like to join us on a Wednesday night, at 5:30 we have our family meal. It's usually pretty good food, if you like it. And then at 6:30 we have our growth groups. Now, one that has been very popular for us, Max could actually tell us all about it, has been our Bible and basketball. He's like, please don't make me. Our Bible and basketball, and you all do a pickup basketball game, pretty much with it. But prior to that, they do a devotion together, and they pray together as a team, and then they play basketball the rest of the time. Stephanie, she's also going to play that team. So. You just stay there. So she shoots, she plays basketball. They have a good time, and it's a great opportunity for you to bring someone that might not like all the churchy sides of church. It's a great opportunity to say, hey, we're going to meal together, we do a team devotion, we pray, and then how you can be like, I don't really want to do that, but we're going to play basketball. Oh, okay. And there's not a lot of places that have indoor facilities, not like the churches that have basketball facilities. We also have something that's been very popular in the fall. We're going to relaunch it here in the winter and spring, called Worship Art, and Lexi Max is going to be helping us out with that. So those of you who are artists or want to be an artist or just want to go somewhere besides basketball and listen to Ben that night, Lexi is going to be offering that, I think, every other week. So we're probably doing it every other week, offering that class. And you're looking at doing the history of Christian art. Great opportunity as a growth group opportunity. You're learning to grow and you're taking it back to grow with it. And then also I lead a leadership group, so we do a devotion together. And then I talk about church leadership. We talk about how a lot of this stuff is structured. So I want to help me plan our services. We're going to look at expanding some of our leadership to be on Sunday afternoons as well. So we'll actually have a student leadership team that meets maybe once a month on Sunday afternoon, right before we do a lot of our other planning. But on those Wednesday nights, we plan a lot of our stuff. So some of the videos that you see, the speakers, the topics, the stuff we're doing, a lot of our servant leaders, like John, he sat in on that in the past. I'm trying to think who was. Definitely sat in before, so you kind of know what it's like. So we do that leadership group. If you're looking for something to do, that's a great opportunity. Coming up on February 6th is our snow tubing trip. Of course, we had to reschedule the 23rd because most all of us were quarantined and recovering, so to have something on this past Saturday that did not work out really well. Originally, this was gonna be a ski/tubing trip, but that just didn't work out. I apologize for that, so we are going to focus on the tubing. We got a great deal set up for $25, you get 2 hours of tubing, and then we're also going to cover your food. So I know last year when we went, the food was on you, that's kind of an extra expense. So I'm gonna absorb that expense for you all this year. Regular price tubing, I think it's $30. They're not doing group stuff on the 6th simply because of all the COVID stuff, they're limiting their groups, and the group sizes only allow them 25 to 90 people. And there's a good chance we'll have more than 25 family adults. So this is the way that CapCity can create our own group rate for you, get the price down for you as an individual, still make it a fun trip. So happy to absorb that cost a little bit. And then coming up on the 13th, how many of y'all participated in the Valentine's Rose Outreach? Either last year or years in the past? Yes. So this is an awesome opportunity for us to give back to our community. I'm still planning out how that's going to look because right now we're not allowed to go into the nursing home facility. Some of the places that we've gone in the past actually handed out roses. Haley did this last year, yeah. So we went into a nursing home last year. Had a great opportunity. We went into some retail stores. We actually went into some retail stores we weren't allowed to be in and give them out. We left those really quickly, but the ones that allowed us to be there, we got a lot of fun. So we're going to work on getting that planned out with managers and see how we can still go and drop off and interact without actually going there, so we can still be part of the Towson outreach. That's our announcements. For tonight's interactive, we're going to be doing something very new. It's so new that I just literally downloaded this moments ago. And it's called Think Fast. Because you all are very bright high schoolers, I know. It's not going to be like middle school where you have to be silly or moving around or different stuff like that. But while you all are already socially distanced and masked up, so can't see YouTube audience, we are masked up, we are socially distanced. But you have to think fast. You have to utilize your brain power on this one. And a question is going to come on the screen, and it'll say something like this following. Like, here's an example. Something you wear, but it starts with the letter P. So there's pants, all right. Pajamas. Anything else?
Yeah.
Huh? You don't know?
Pumas.
Yes. So Doug is. Anything else?
Pants.
Pants again. I feel like this section is really quiet.
Pantalones.
And Doug is carrying the tech booth with his.
Yeah.
So does everybody understand the object of this interact? How do you win? Did you come up with the most? You won the first one? You literally came up with how many? You said pants? Yeah, so you have to sit there and be like, pants, John.
Can you say things like pink shirts?
Yeah.
You're allowed to say that? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You gotta be polka dots.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Ready? Oh, now everybody's coming alive. So, can you think fast? That's the name of the game. You have to think fast.
Chips.
Ready?
Cheetos. Cheez-Its.
Okay, now here we go. Food that is crunchy that starts with A.
Tater tots?
Yeah.
Crunchy, not crispy.
Taco.
Taco shells. Takis.
What? Takis?
What?
Tortilla chips? What did you say?
Fried green
I don't know what. Tortillas?
Yeah.
Huh? Tostitos, you gotta be louder. Toast? Drew's like toast. Really trying to try.
All right, ready?
All right. Next one,
Okay.
actor
And
that begins with the letter N. Perfect.
Marshall Mathers.
Marshall Mathers.
I think he said M. I wasn't paying attention.
Nicholas Cage.
Who said Natalie Portman?
Natalie Portman is Lexi. The You participated, so we'll take it, right?
All right. Next.
Noah Wiley.
Noah Wiley.
Ooh.
Thank you.
Good. From EA
Right.
and the library.
Is Nick Jonas as an actor?
Who?
Nick Jonas is an actor. Yeah.
Olivia's like, oh yeah. Liam Neeson would be a stretch.
All right. Something black.
All right, something that begins with the letter O.
Oh, no.
Did you just
No, you didn't.
You did not.
You did not.
So Stephanie's, Olivia said herself. Olivia's going with Olivia. Okay, Olivia, what else we got?
An obelisk.
Huh?
An obelisk.
Oh, what? Oh, what's please. Arms? Oh, I can't hear.
An otoscope. Otoscope.
What else? A burnt orange, the COVID orange?
Yeah.
An ocarina.
Ocarina?
Yeah, a black ocarina.
Old Spice?
Okay, next.
He's moving on.
An octopus, yeah.
Yeah, moving on.
At least the right one was black and all right, something found on a menu that begins with the letter B.
Beans. Beans and burgers.
Beans and burgers.
Broth.
Bacon, banana.
Broth.
Broth.
Brought and broth.
Bread.
Bread. Biscuits.
Biscuits.
Bananas.
Bananas.
Banana pudding. Banana pie.
You're like Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Beverages.
Bubblegum shrimp. Yeah, broccoli.
Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, Libby's got it.
Anything like that?
Billfish.
Next.
All right, moving on.
All right, a drink.
Okay, hold on. We got to know what it starts with.
Ah, look at the TV. I was like, how could she possibly know the letter?
Because she's a cheater.
Like, it's like when I had the screen from.
Fountain Diet Coke.
Fruit juice.
Oh,
Fruit
good.
juice, Fanta.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
What else?
Uh,
Fruit punch.
I like it.
Okay.
What's it? Mango?
Fresca. Oh, Fresca.
That, Olivia, don't you do it.
Don't cheat. Just go to the next one. Go, quick. Hit it.
Something you drive with a K.
A K car.
Did somebody say car?
A koala. A K car. Yeah, K car. A go kart. A go kart. A Kia. I like that.
Yeah. You just name all the Kias, right?
A go-kart.
A go-kart.
Yeah.
Okay.
A Mario Kart.
Yeah.
All right. We've got a weather word that begins with M. Meteorologist.
Yeah, you
Johnson sitting on
do. Misty.
Here.
Moist.
Moist and misty.
Moist and misty. Moisture. Anything else? All right.
Mittens.
TV character that begins with R.
Russ Geller.
Russ Geller. Ron Weasley.
Ronald McDonald.
Ren of Ren and Stimpy fame.
Ren and Stimpy.
Ren and
Ren and
Stimpy.
Stimpy.
Yeah.
All right.
Not a lot of TV characters. Something found in a desert. Water.
No water.
Water.
Wasteland.
Wasteland. Wind.
Wind.
Yeah, good one.
Anything else?
Wispy.
What are animals? What kind of animals?
Wombat.
Wizards.
Wombat.
No, those are lizards.
All right.
Whips.
Okay, basketball word.
Foul.
Foul.
Free throw.
Free throw.
Free throw.
Freestyle.
Freestyle.
Freestyle basketball.
Fireball.
What? What?
What kind of basketball are you playing, Eric?
Flip. Fans.
Fans.
Okay, good, yeah.
Fast break. Fast break. Fast break.
What's your coach's name?
Flank.
Yeah, that's true.
Store at the mall.
What's them all?
Hard to know. Right.
Oh, man. You're ripping it, man.
Bookstore.
Bennigan's. I don't know.
Build-A-Bear, Buckle, Baskin
Oh, man. You guys are owning it.
Build-A-Bear.
Oh, he said it already.
Bojangles.
Bojangles is not the mall.
Bath and Body Works. Woo! Guess who said that? Best Buy.
No, I say no.
All right, last one.
Type of car begins with an N.
Nissan. Oh, man. Leaf.
Lisa Ultimate.
New. A new car.
That's awesome.
Nappy.
All right. That was our last one. But what I want you to think about before we get into this time of worship is, that how fast you had to come up with those. And it's amazing the things that we can recall our brain. It's amazing the things that our memories can hold on to. Words we can hold on to. Commercials. And I know for me that I can recall a lot of details. I can recall a lot of things you said when I see a letter. But I wonder if we change those questions just a little bit. And we throw up things on there like, last lie you told. And had a letter there. How quickly can you recall a lie that you told someone? Or someone's heart that you broke? Or a sin or a shame or a guilt that you carried? If we flash that up on screen, how quickly you could recall those, just like you recall those words. How quick could you recall those things? Because I can do that to myself a lot, and that's what we're going to be talking about tonight, is about letting go of that guilt and letting go of that shame. And a lot of times, we can do that through prayer. A lot of times, we can do that through sitting and being patient with God. I know one of the best times for me to experience His freedom, I can feel set free, just letting Him go, is the time of worship for song. So everybody be sing His praises. Join us and sing to our awesome God. Would you join us tonight?
I'm afraid of chasm, the way you treat us. How high the mountain I cannot climb. In desperation, I turn to heaven. So into the night, then into the darkness, your loving kindness tore through the shadows of my soul. The work is finished, the end is completed. Jesus Christ, my living hope. Couldn't imagine the mercy when I could have some fountains grace. The God of ages, down to glory. There I sit and there I stay. The cross is broken, I am forgiven. The King of Kings calls me his own. In the Savior, I know forever. Jesus Christ, my living Lord. Hallelujah, praise the Lord, set me free. Hallelujah, let that cross is brave on me. You have
given us hope, and you've given us life, you've given us something that is new. We want to look back in our lives so often because we lose our faith, we lose our trust in you. So we come here today and we're reminded, we are renewed. And we ask God that you will take our lives, we do something tremendous with them. Every day right this season, we trust you and have faith in you. Father, thank you so much for loving us. Thank you so much for taking away our shame and our guilt, giving us a brand new life. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Would you have a seat?
Since our last week of vibes, we've been talking about emotions over what's the last 4 weeks. I know 2 of those weeks, of course, was me sitting at home behind my computer, looking at the screen. So I'm so glad that we can do this here, even though we're closing out the series. It seems like so soon. So I have a question I want to ask, and hopefully this came up a little bit in your smokers with your discussions. What if there were no consequences? What if there were no consequences? What would you do? Where are you going? Be bold, throw it out there. What would you do if there was no consequences?
90 and a 55.
90 and a 55. Man, I guess I should not be doing that now, but I judge. Whoops. Anybody who's ever ridden with me in the church van knows that that's entirely possible. It could happen. No, what else? What would you do? Be bold. Be bold enough to share it. What would you do? Anything else? Steal? Okay. What would you steal? Clothes, makeup, perfume, jewelry. You'll commit tax fraud? Okay. Sneak to a game for free. Super Bowl, so you sneak into the Super Bowl for free?
No consequences.
No consequences. Shawn Mendes concert, front row. I thought that was like a popular person. I was really hoping The weekend, okay. You mean like Saturday and Sunday? I'm kidding. Yeah. So, no consequences. Come on, there's got to be some other stuff you would do.
No consequences.
No consequences. Okay, rob a bank, rob a game place. Okay. Wow, you're like all about destroying the IRS. All right. Hey, no consequences. Huh? You wouldn't have to pay taxes. There's no consequences. So yeah, what would you do? What would you do? Let's go ahead, Doug. No, you're fine. Now, I want you to look at this very next one. You would never be caught. You would never get caught. You would never get in trouble. This sounds fun, right? Sounds fun. Yeah, of course it does. There's lots of stuff I would do. Yeah, I mean, like, if there's no consequences, taking offering buckets, and taking bank, everything. There's no consequences.
No consequences.
There's no consequences, right? I'm not going to get in trouble. Sounds fun to me. Buying new stuff. You never get in trouble. And the reason that sounds so appealing is because we're really good at making excuses. We're really good about making excuses in life, and that's why it's so easy for us to come up with those things. It's so easy for us to think about a life of no consequences and a life of no regret because we're really good at making excuses. And see, when I get sloppy, which I get sloppy a lot, and I told the middle school group it's the 24th, which means I've had 24 days to jack up 2021. And I've done a great job in many things. So the excuses that I come up with, I get sloppy because I'm not guarding my heart. I start off 2020 and I'm going to do a great job, and I'm just going to be motivated. I'm going to motivate you all. And we launched a series, we had our back to school bash. Highest numbers we had in 3 months or more, yeah. And then boom, Ben gets COVID. We shut this place down for 2 weeks. Yeah, there's a lot of other people in it too. The only thing that mattered there was Ben got it, because Ben was supposed to be preaching. Then we relaunched, and then we're slowly getting our numbers back tonight. But notice in Proverbs 4:23 it says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it, which means everything that I am, it flows from it. It flows from outside of my heart, it's in there. My heart is so nasty sometimes. It is full of the nastiest of nasty things sometimes. And the reason I struggle with it so much is you go back to those excuses, because I can have an excuse like this. I wasn't the only one doing it. Olivia snuck into the concert, so I'm going to sneak in too. I wasn't the only one. I wasn't the only one that took down the IRS. I was sitting next to John. John E. was the one that pulled it up on the computer. Bet John did. I was going through a moment of pain. I'm trying to figure myself out. I was raised a certain way, or I was born a certain way, and the feelings and emotions and things going on inside of me, it's not my fault. I'm a teenager, or I'm an adult, or I'm a child. It's not my fault. We can't blame me. And what we do is something called transference. We're really good at doing this in life. We will transfer things that have happened to us, and we will blame other people. It is so easy. I can blame Haley. You blame Jess and Lexi. Why? Because this person over here messed up my small group, or this person over here didn't help volunteer or something, so it's their fault. And we're good at taking that concept and doing it through excuses. And the reason it's easy for me to make excuses is I want to protect my reputation. Did y'all talk about reputations tonight? No. All right. That's okay. We'll see what you talk about. When it comes to reputation, what people think about me, it means a lot. It means a lot what people think about me. So I want to protect my own image. Even if I have to lie, even if I have to blame others, shame others, guilt others, I want to protect my reputation. But what eventually starts to happen, that catches up with me, and then I start to lose trust. I lose the trust of leaders. I lose the trust of friends. And inevitably, that will cripple my self-esteem. So then there's this loss of self-esteem. All because I carry this excuse and I carry this guilt instead of just being free from it. Now, the reason I want to talk about that is it all goes back to this idea of shame. When you hear the word shame, what comes to mind? Hiding. What else? Darkness. All right, let's try a little easier way of looking at it. Have y'all ever felt shame? Keep your hands up if you felt shame because of somebody in your family. Keep your hands up if you felt shame because of a friend. Keep your hands up if you've ever felt shame because of someone in this room. Tough one, right? You're like, oh, honesty, oh no. Yeah, because sometimes that happens. Because the church can be really good. Not necessarily CapCity, but the church as a whole can be really good about making you feel shame. Feel ashamed of something you did, which is not what Jesus wants at all. So we're going to look at a verse in the book of Romans. And if you're familiar with Romans, you know that Paul wrote it. We believe that Paul wrote it. Because all the letters were addressed. He talks about I, Paul this, I, Paul. Before he was Paul, he was Saul, a leader among leaders, who was responsible for killing Christians. He was responsible for making sure they were killed. And then God saved him, as we believe he saved us, and convicted him, and called him into ministry. And when he was called into this life, he carried with him shame. And we can go back and look at all the questions we just looked at, because for Paul, when we saw, well, I was the only one. I was the only one. You're not doing what I was supposed to be doing. I was raised under this law, believing this law, doing what I think I'm supposed to be doing. But then, that very easily started to cause him to lose trust. And when he became a Christian, that's when the self-esteem was crushed and the shame set in because he realized the things that he did. The Bible even talks about it. He talks about it. It's carried with him as a burden. And it must have ate at him day and night. It's what he did. But I want you to look at what he wrote in the book of Romans and how it stands out. This is a true testimony of his whole life. It says, Romans 8, 1 and 2 to start with. There is therefore now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. For the law of the Spirit of life has set you free in Christ Jesus from the law of sin and death. Notice that it says there's no condemnation anymore if you are in Christ Jesus. Because there's a new law, a law that is His Spirit that's inside us, and it now takes precedence over the law of sin. Continuing on in Romans 3, it says, for God has done what the law, weakened by the flesh, could not do. By sending His own Son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin, He condemned sin to the flesh. And then it goes on in verse 4, and it says, in order that the righteous requirement of the law might be fulfilled in us, who walk not according to the flesh, but according to the Spirit. What Paul is trying to say, because what God is saying through Paul to say to everyone, is because of Jesus, guilt doesn't have to be the boss of you. He's making it known and making it very clear here that it doesn't matter what you did, that there really is no consequence when it comes to Jesus. There's no shame when it comes to Jesus. There's no guilt when it comes to Jesus. He's saying, take my Spirit. And honestly, when you look at this, it's such an unfair trait. The fact that I can take my shame and my junk and everything that I've done and screwed up in January already, and I can lay it at the feet of Jesus, and He says, I'll take it back. Here's more of my Spirit. Be refreshed. Go out tomorrow, fresh and renewed, start fresh. Have a great day. That's not a good trait at all. I wouldn't take that trait from you all. I'd be like, that's horrible. That's unfair. I don't want that. I'm not going to give you a fresh new day for your job. But with God, He says that's exactly what He does. He says, I am the law. I created the law. I have to fulfill the law. And I say that that law does not take precedence. My Spirit takes precedence in your life. So your guilt and your shame that you carry, those stupid things you've done, those things you've done with people that you regret, those decisions you've made that you regret. What God is saying is that you are not allowed, not just that you shouldn't, hear this out. You're not allowed to condemn yourself. You're not allowed to condemn yourself for your sin. Jesus is saying, you can't do that. I've traded that. I took that, that's mine. Here's my Spirit. You can't condemn yourself. Because I don't condemn you. And yet, as people, as Christians, as Christ followers, and those who don't definitely, but even as Christ followers, we carry shame with us and guilt with us, and we just let it eat at us because we think about the things we've done. And guys, I can tell you, I do that. Oh my gosh, do I do that? When I make a mistake, when I sin, it eats at me and eats at me and eats at me for weeks. So I spend time in prayer, God's like, are you done with that? You realize I let that go a long time ago. I gave you my spirit, but yet you're holding on to your shame. Why is your shame more important than my spirit? We can't let it condemn us. What we have to remember is to allow guilt to remind us. Let it serve as a reminder. Yeah. You screwed up, went a little too far with that person, don't do that. You did that drug, you drank that drink, don't do that. It's not good for you, don't do that. Let it remind you, let it serve as a reminder. Don't let it define you. Don't let that decision define you like you're forever that person. No. That's not what Jesus said at all. If we believe that and we treat other people like that, then there's no point even using the Bible. We're just taking the Bible and ripping pages out of it and saying, let's walk around and preach shame. That's not what he said at all here. And if you are a Christ follower, YouTube audience, live audience, if you are a Christ follower, hear this next part. We also need to remind others they are free from condemnation when they choose Christ. You're going to encounter people. Eventually, you'll go back to school. I don't know when. We'll probably do another back-to-school bash before then, but you'll go back eventually. There's going to be people that have a lot of shame. They're going to have a lot of guilt. They're going to have a lot of regrets. They're going to have so much time alone at home. And that computer brings temptation. That TV brings temptation. And that no parent at home brings temptation. There's going to be things. We're going to be talking about that. We have the Sex and Dating series that starts next week. It's 4 weeks of that. You don't have to wait until that series starts to start examining it. You can be free. Now we can choose that freedom. Would you pray with me? God, we thank you for the opportunity to be in your presence. Lord, we know that we carry a lot of guilt and a lot of shame for the things that we've done, the things that we do. And Lord, you gave us a great word in Romans that you spoke through Paul, and that there's no condemnation. That when we choose your spirit, when we choose you, we are literally trading sin and shame for your spirit of freedom. There's no give backs, there's no take backs. You won it. You gladly choose our shame. You chose it, fulfilled it on the cross, and rose from death, victorious as a reminder. We don't have to carry shame. So when we do screw up, because we're going to strive to be more like you, but we're going to mess up. But we don't have to sit in the corner and punish ourselves. Just lay it at your feet. You look at us, dust us off, and say, get up, I got you. My spirit's with you. You go. That's going to be second chances and third chances, and if you're up to me, in my mistakes, 30 and 40 and 50 chances, it seems like it's time and time again. I come to you with the same shame and the same guilt because of my sin. God, you dust me off. Lord, I thank you for the guilt and serves a reminder in my life. Things to avoid, temptations to avoid. Striving to be more like you, the Lord is define us. Lord, anybody here, anybody in our YouTube audience that is just battling with this guilt and battling with this shame and battling with this burden of things that they've done, and they just don't feel like they're a person. They don't feel like they're even worth being here, worth being in your presence. Ask your spirit to break that bond off them right now. Let them see that you're a God who loves them. A God who's with them. A God who sets them free. Help us to walk in that freedom tonight in Jesus' name. Would you worship with us tonight?
You unravel me with a melody. You surround me with soul. I'm delivered from my enemy to know my fears go. I'm no longer a slave. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave. Child of God. From my mother's womb, you've been chosen me. Your love has called my name. I've been born again to your family. Your love goes through. I'm no longer a slave. Child of God, I call upon my Father right now to give me what I need to make it through every day. To no longer worry about shame or guilt. To remember that I am His child. I am considered royalty. I've been royal all the time, but I know that God continues to work on me to make me better. So even when I struggle to say, I am His child, to say it, and work to believe it every time. I want to believe that He has redeemed me, He's given me something new. He's given me a brand new life, one that is guilt-free, shame-free. As you sing the next part of this song, we're going to be reminded of what God has done in the Bible. So even if you don't know this, just know that what Jesus is famous for, He wants to do in your life too. When you come into this place and you experience some of the things that we talked about in the Bible, and you listen to what Ben has to say, and you say, well, that's old. That stuff is in a really, really old book. It doesn't apply to me. I'm telling you right now, it will apply to you. It can apply to you. But we have to start someplace with your relationship with God and say, now I struggled in the past. I've not believed what I want to believe today. Do something miraculous in my life. I'm expecting to do something. You split the sea. Split the sea so I can walk right through it. Feel I'm drowning in perfect love. You rescued me and I was safe and free. I am a child of God. Sing with me, believe it. We remind him again of Jesus Christ. And so when we take communion every week, we think about his sacrifice. Merci. I'm done. If you ever got the elements yet, there's some there in the back. Go ahead and grab the bread and the juice. So what we want to do is spend these next few moments not thinking about anybody else except Jesus. And that's hard. Because you got buddies around. That's cool. So one of the sacrifices that I'd love to see you make right now, just these next few months, just you and him. He's made a sacrifice and he will allow you a brand new life, one that is void of all shame and guilt. Just give me a few moments and then we'll end something.
Yeah, I'm so glad you joined us tonight. I know it's ran over a little bit. I got to work on time a little bit. We're still figuring this out. But appreciate you being here. I think that every time you call this discussion and continue going throughout the week. Hopefully, that very good something tonight. Appreciate you joining us. Love to have you. Let's talk some more. If you got questions about what it means to be in a relationship with Christ, YouTube audience, reach out to us. We'll love to have you. See you next week.
Ben, can I end the stream? You're welcome. Thank you, Doug.